This is gonna 070 shake me to the core. Oh, we're rolling? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to John Dudley Speaks. I'm your host who feels kind of free. New Jersey singer-songwriter 070 Shake, originally hailing from the 070 Music Collective, signed to Kanye West's Good Music in 2016, eventually dropping the Glitter EP in 2018. But not even she knew what was in store for her in the summer of 2018, as Kanye embarked on the release of his iconic Wyoming sessions. She appeared on Pusha T's spectacular Daytona, and then turned in a show-stopping feature on the decadently produced Ghost Town. It's potentially the best song on Ye, and it's no coincidence that 070 Shake's performance is all over the tail end. Her debut on Good Music, Modus Vivendi, came out in 2020, and it's soaked in Kanye West worship across all of its production stylings due to Mike Dean's contributions. I especially love the 808s and Heartbreak synth-heavy vibe of Guilty Conscience, which is still a song I regularly spin in my rotation. Coming after the TikTok virality of her feature on the Ray hit Escapism, 2022 brought us You Can't Kill Me, with her and Mike Dean tapping into something more expansive and ambitious, far more congruous to an astral world than a renaissance. So with Petrichor, 070 Shake's first in a couple years, can she keep capitalizing on her strong forward progression since her big year in 2018? 100%, even if she can't quite connect on this one like her predecessor did. With primary producing heads like Dave Hamlin, who helmed Cowboy Carter earlier this year, as well as Johan Lennox and a myriad of other producers, Shake establishes a cohesive production palette, one that feels rooted in art pop and proto-industrial rave. But that doesn't stop them from indulging in alternative baroque pop and indie rock, with Sin leading off the album with an epic piano-driven backdrop, enlivened by Iron Maiden-esque heavy fuzzy guitars, as well as loose, crashing drums. The Yeezus influence on Elephant and its vocal processing is as potent as its Joy Division new wave-esque foundation and its after-hours inspired 80s rhythms. And that level of ambition might not always be around on this album, as the patchy reverb on Pieces of You can be a little jarring and roughly mixed. Yet it's when the production aesthetics swing deeper into chaotic sounds, like the Death Grips industrialism of Lungs, and the delightfully weird two-parter Winter Baby New Jersey Blues, amazingly tethering a Beach Boys melody with Springsteen acoustics, as well as buzzing bass lines and synth loops that are implemented quite ingeniously. I wish some of the musical ideas on Into Your Garden were fully fleshed out and didn't feel like a total rehash of 2015 Kanye West aesthetics, but when you have the swooning dynamics of the haunting Blood on Your Hands, you have the best combination of what makes 070 Shake great. Before I get into my immense praise of Shake's vulnerability in her lyricism, I wanted to drill down on song arrangements and structure, which I sometimes think is inherently flawed on this record. While I admire the headiness on display to overwhelm the audience with scale and ambition, I feel like the impact is too often lessened by the order in which it's presented. For instance, Blood on Your Hands struggles to connect in its first half, only for the bombastic second half to truly melt your senses, but a little more balance would make this and Vagabond feel a lot less disjointed. I felt the same way about the JT appearance on Into Your Garden and the Courtney Love appearance on Song to the Siren, which suffered from awkward injections of these artists into the fray, didn't really mesh well with the direction that Shake seemed to be going with it. That being said, I loved her songwriting here, with Elephant in particular being one of her best compositions yet, especially due to its playful take on Elephants Never Forget, but also diving into volatility and anxiety without sanitizing its impacts. The confessionalism of the closer Love, the poetic approach of Battlefield, and the storybook storytelling of Winter Baby New Jersey Blues all point to a high-minded view from Shake on relationships and life and individual ponderance, and it only works here because of her incredible level of honesty. Sorry about the news. Ever since Shake made her mark on Ye, I think she's been consistently defying expectations in terms of how she uses her voice, not just because of style, but because of delivery. Elephant is a perfect example of this, with each modulation and grumbling distortion proving to be a bonus when put up against Shake's addictive, groove-based mumbles. However, that doesn't stop Shake from playing it too loose at times, like on Vagabond, which I felt was pulled together quite sloppily compared to other gems on this project. That, along with her discordant meshing of vocals with JT and Courtney Love, and periodically I just couldn't help but feel like this could have been touched up a whole lot more. What's able to offset this awkwardness is her undeniable bravado on Lungs, Battlefield, and Blood on Your Hands, reminiscent of 808's Kanye in both its heart and its vocal treatments. So if Shake isn't able to fully connect on her performance across this whole thing, she sure is able to entertain. My least favorite component of this record is its sequencing, which borders on scattered and disorganized. And because of the arrangement issues I called out earlier, the pacing of these 13 tracks can be tedious at 39 minutes. The opening duo of Sin and Elephant is admittedly exhilarating, but I felt the momentum start to slide as we hit Pieces of You and Vagabond, and it really didn't pick up again until Winter Baby, New Jersey Blues. I get that not every track here has to keep the same energy and industrial tilt, but for it all to gel nicely, the balladry and the experiments in hip-hop and pop need to have more oomph to them, and here some of the songs just missed that. So when we reach the back end of the record, the highlights are a little slimmer because the journey getting there was a little tiresome, even if Blood on Your Hands and Love are pretty stellar.
I needed to see that you love me. That's why I made a girl cry. Now I'm swimming your tears.
Petrichor is definitely an album I can appreciate and respect, and it'll definitely grow on me over time, I'm sure, even if it can't quite touch the heights of You Can't Kill Me. But the fabulous level of experimentation and the refusal to pigeonhole really cements 070 Shake as an artist that deserves a lot more recognition and praise. But hey, that's just my perspective. If you're an 070 Shake fan, you're gonna get a lot out of this album. If you're looking for dark, industrial heavy alt pop that doesn't compromise its vision for anything, you'll have a good time with this one. Alright, that's all I got. Bye!